An amazing story tonight of sacrifice and compassion. Last week, a Pender County school teacher donated one of her kidneys to a complete stranger so that one of her former students could move up on the National Kidney Register. Laura Akins and Khalik Beatty have a very unique bond. They met about 8 years ago when Khalik had his first transplant. Not that long ago, he discovered he needs another one.
In the fall, he got some bad news, and he was like, I'm going to be on the transplant list again. And I just felt a call.
Laura Akins, a PE teacher at Pender High School and a pastor's wife, says her faith told her she would be okay.
I have a very healthy life, and I'm blessed beyond measure.
But her former student, Khalik Beatty, would not be okay without another kidney transplant. Khalik was born with a chronic kidney disease.
I was born with hydronephrosis. So basically that is where the urine from the kidney, from the bladder, goes into the kidneys, filters, and go right back into the kidneys.
His now 8-year-old kidney is no longer doing what it needs to. A kidney transplant can last anywhere from 8 to 25 years, depending on whether it's a living or deceased donor. Laura was willing to give him one of hers and surprised him one day on the track.
Come here. Actually, I just got approved. I got approved! And as we went through the process, I was approved as a donor, but I wasn't approved for him.
Thanks to a voucher program started at UCLA in 2014, Laura would be able to donate a kidney to a complete stranger in exchange for moving Khalik up on the National Registry. The Beattys ecstatic, but Laura's husband, Gardner?
Now, to be fair, initially the fleshly side of me, because that was my wife, I was like, oh, well, we need to talk about this more. We need to talk about this more. But then, through our conversation, she said it was just as clear as if you spoke to me. And I said, well, if that's the case, I'm not going to stand in your way.
So on July 29th, just in from vacation, Laura headed to Duke to give up a completely healthy kidney to a complete stranger.
We landed in Charlotte at about 7:30, and then my friend and I drove up to Duke, and my husband met us there. I had to report to the ER at 4 o'clock.
That was 4:00 a.m. She was in the operating room at 6 for a surgery that lasted about 3 hours. While both Laura and her husband, also a teacher, have taught Khalik, the bond is with the entire family.
I have to be honest, I have not always been strong. I've had my good days, I've had my bad days. I've had days that somebody would just look at me and say something and I would cry.
Khalik's parents have faced some major challenges. From the time Khalik was born, he was in and out of the hospital.
I can say I was in the hospital more than I was in school.
Laura was coaching Khalik's brother in 2016 when she first met the Beatty family. We also met the Beatty family back then. Khalik was waiting on the kidney he now has when devastation hit. Hurricane Matthew flooded their home. Despite losing it all, though, in December of that year, he got a kidney. He shared with us back then what he told his doctor.
The first thing I told my doctor, I told him, don't screw this up. It's been 10 years, I do not want this to mess up.
The surgery went well, but heartache would strike again. In 2018, this is what Hurricane Florence did to their home, just 2 years after Matthew. They were forced to move out even when the water receded because of the mold and the risk to Khalik's health. He recalls that being one of the lowest times in his life back then, despite his new kidney.
I thought if I stopped taking my medication and just slowly die, that they can go ahead and get a house and not worry about me.
It was Pastor Akins, who he calls Dad, who helped him through many dark days.
Many times we've been in the parking lot in Burgaw, and we just stop right there, we hold hands, we pray and cry and love upon each other.
Even with last Sunday, I asked them, don't let me get lost on my way to college. Don't let me forget who I am or where I come from.
That's right, college. Kalik will be going to UNC Charlotte. He hopes with a new kidney. It won't be Laura's kidney, but it will be because of the woman he considers family.
I can truly say that that is my second mama.
I was thinking about it, and I was talking to my husband about it that morning, and I said, somebody has been praying and wanting a kidney. And because I made the decision, they're going to get that.
Laura's kidney went to a recipient somewhere in Georgia. She has no idea where. She says she would love to meet them, but they'll have to make the request. Now, as for Kalik, he's going to UNC Charlotte to study to become a pediatric psychologist, specializing with helping children with chronic illnesses.